spit in Dababy's face.
Now you fucking niggas, fucking asshole. You scumbag.
He'll tell you how he feels.
I'll tell you how I feel.
Wagwan. So Dababy reacted to his felony charges by sharing a video on his Instagram with his audience of the homeowner making racist comments. I think TMZ is the one who actually captured it. But this goes deep. I can basically sum this up for you guys in a nice snapshot. And here it goes. You have people making money hand over fist, and their actions are irresponsible. But who can tell them how they can voice their own opinion, voice their lifestyle and life experiences through music, laced in wax and sold to millions. And it's going to be millions of views per year, per month. It's going to be ridiculous. And you have artists like Drake, you have artists like J. Cole. And, we're not even talking about the underground artists and then the artists that don't really get a lot of plays pushing the mainstream, but you still see their work, coming up on Instagram, or when you're scrolling on your platform, you're going to see them. And they're emulating, artists like Dababy, artists like, these particular artists who use certain type of languages in their music. And if you're over here, using that language in your, as a form of artistry, there's podcasters out here that, that feel as if their long drawn conversations is a form of art. It is an art form to them, that they're making a lot of money off of themselves. So who are you now to tell them what language they could use, to display in their artistry? Just straight up right there. That's just me laying it on your lap. So then you have an onslaught of, I don't know, your fans, your listeners, people who listen to your music, speaking like you do. That's just, it is what it is. And there's a line being drawn in the sand, to what's right and what's wrong. And we all kind of have an idea of what is right and what is wrong. I would hope, we're on the same page on this. But, many people, they don't know when that line begins or ends, where you're now infringing on my rights. Where is that line drawn in the sand, where we have to have an understanding on, our rights and your rights? What is our rights to free speech versus your rights? And when are you infringing upon my rights? Or when am I infringing upon your rights? Where does that line begin or end? But, Dababy came back with that video, basically, showing that he was a racist. But this also just goes back to the vetting process of, how did you end up at this guy's house? You know what I'm saying? How did you end up at this guy's house? We have to look at things like this. And, whoever's on your team, we're seeing a lot of teams fall through. And that doesn't mean that they're not going to continue to deliver in the future, or people are going to stop watching them. People going to still watch out. People going to still listen to your music. That's not changing nothing. The Joe Rogan situation that happened, people, that shows you. Those days where people are saying something and, it offends you, so you're getting kicked off of all platforms, that's just not happening. I think we have transcended that time and period to where that it's laughable now. That matter is laughable. When you think you can walk around a certain way, say things, do things, and you're going to say, I can do that, but you can't do that. Those days are over. Now, yes, there's a section of, in life where that happens, where, if you're not, you're not walking around with a badge, or you're not walking around with certain certifications and permits, you can't do certain things like that. But, who are you to tell people, you know what I'm saying, how they feel? Who are you to tell people what they can say and what they can't say? If you're not in a court of law, or you know what I'm saying, or you don't have, who's gonna do that? That's a lot of work to be getting done, and I believe 100% there's a payout at the end of that. There's a big payout at the end of that. But who's gonna be doing that? You know what I'm saying? Who's gonna be cleaning up on that aisle? You know what I'm saying? Me, I'm not really for that. You know what I'm saying? I know what I believe in, and I know, you know what I'm saying, what I believe is right, and I go by that. But you have people who are fans, you know what I'm saying, who sing along to people's music, who has, you know what I'm saying, certain undertones in their music, and actually say, you know what I'm saying, words that somehow if a person used it in a different context that you seem not fit, it would be offensive to you. Then why say the word at all? If the context of it, you know what I'm saying, is what gets you, then why even say the word at all? If now we're speaking contextually, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where you have to say, who made this mess? And you have to look at yourself. If people don't want to realize the gains and the losses in this, you just want to reap in the benefits, reap in the money, when it's a whole culture, you know what I'm saying, it's a culture that you're moving. You have to look at that, and that is powerful. You know what I'm saying? Who are the people, who are the characters in this that is allowing this behavior? Who? You have to sit back sometimes and ask yourself that. Who has created this mindset? Who is influencing? You know what I'm saying? And it's the rappers. We're gonna in this incident, I would say it's the rappers. Now, people have been, you know what I'm saying, rappers are not the first people who, you know what I'm saying, who have created this whole thing. But you know, the endearment term, I would say, you guys, the rappers, have a nice real estate in the endearment, you know, argument. You know what I'm saying? Not to get too specific, but I'm saying just in the whole, you know what I'm talking about, in the whole, I'm using this term as a term of endearment. I'm not using it in that certain context where it's like this or like that. Nah, this is a form of endearment. You know what I'm saying? That's your argument. You're pretty well versed in that, better than I am. But I'm just letting you know that, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? What about somebody who's offended when you say it in your raps? But that's your excuse, you know what I'm saying, to use the word, you know what I'm saying, around people that you don't know. You know what I'm saying? You don't know these people from Son of Sam. But you're using this word, and you're getting all this money, you're going on stages, you're going to different countries, you're international with this type of lifestyle, but there's no ramifications, there's no repercussions, there's no back, you know what I'm saying, there's no back pay on this. You know what I'm saying? The back end is like, well, what you talking about? I don't understand what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things where, yeah, this is definitely an argument. Am I saying this guy is completely justified? Well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there are consequences and repercussions, period. People watch what you do and they want to do it. They feel as if they can do it. They feel as if they can do anything and they can justify it from what you do. You didn't do anything to them, but just the fact of you being you and you owning who you are, well, that's, you know, that's detrimental to the public. People can't take that. They don't know how to take that. They don't know how to box that up. You know what I'm saying? And that's very key. That's very key. You know what I'm saying? And this is a conversation that's always changing, always growing. You know what I'm saying? We all have those instances where we know right from wrong. We know the right thing to say. We know what people want to hear, but then we also know the truth. We know our truth. And we know what is edgy and what's going to get conversations going. We know what's going to get people talking. We know these things deep, and they're deeply rooted. You know what I'm saying? And you see certain things percolate and come up to the surface, and you're like, whoa. But that doesn't make sense. How did you get that out of this? How did you get this out of that? It's not adding up. Why are you deeply invested into this when you have no ties, no connections at all? And matter of fact, you're at opposing ends of the spectrum. How does this connect? You know what I'm saying? If you don't like what you're hearing, turn the music off. If you don't like what you're seeing, don't get involved in it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like what you're experiencing, don't get near it. You know what I'm saying? If it's not right. But what I'm here to say is, yes, how did Dababy get, you know what I'm saying, to this guy's house? How does this guy let him sign off on any paperwork, set up and start shooting videos at his house when he obviously has a certain position on this? How does that happen? You have certain people who kind of know, you know, where where the flow is going, where everything, you know, we kind of understand where the flow is going on this, right? We can see that. But you have people that want to swim against the current. You have people that want to muddy the waters and just act like, I don't understand what's happening. No, I don't get that from this. That's the dryer. But when you know right from wrong, but you consistently choose to do wrong, and guess what? You're making hand over fist from it. You got all this money, all these resources from you producing a certain fruit, and then when you look back and you see what you have reaped, what you sowed from that fruit, you're like, no, I'm not reaping this. I'm not claiming all that. But that comes from your fruit. That comes from your seed. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying this guy is justified for saying what he said and done what he done. I'm just saying that could be a good argument right there. That could be a good argument people could use. I've seen people try to make that argument. I've seen Vlad bring it up. I've seen, you know what I'm saying, No Jumper, Adam 22. He refuses to say the N-word. But he's, what is he? He's a Caucasian male, you know what I'm saying, in this whole rap entertainment industry. He interviews a lot of people who use the word. He chooses not to use that word. There's probably people who chooses to use that word in different contexts. It's like the guy that we seen, who house Dababy was shooting a video at. That was his property. Okay? Now, I'm opening this up to say this is gonna be, this is an argument that's already ongoing. Maybe it's an old argument. People don't want to look at that. People are gonna peruse over it. People are not gonna really pay attention to it. You know what I'm saying? That's possible. That's feasible. They could do that. I respect that. I love that. You know what I'm saying? But that has been an argument that has been ongoing. Vlad chooses to use that sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And I feel as if that, you know what I'm saying, that's one of those trick bags you could get into. It is. People may not say that to you, and people are coming out in interviews and actually saying that sometimes. And rappers are caught off guard, like, what? You're asking me this? It's a probably better rep that you can talk to. And then you have this coming up with politicians. People will get interviewed and they'll ask about how they feel against rappers, how they feel against. They're using every type of way to talk about this, but not really talk about this. And it's telling, because this issue can get solved, you know what I'm saying, with you really just realizing at the end of the year, you know what I'm saying, like, is this right or is this wrong? What are we gaining from this? What have we lost from this? And you make that educated guess if you can't make a right decision off of it. Peace, I'm out.